All right, so you are the Bluefin Squadron, which is one of the blue factions in the game, meaning that you are going to be playing an area control game against the yellow faction or factions. So that means that you're trying to have the most control in these regions, which is a set of 4 spaces. And each of these regions will have like an island, and then the dice actually denote the color of the island as well, so that will help you remember. But at the end of a round, when everyone's out of dice, if you have the most control in a region, you're going to be gaining that number of fame points, and that is how you score. So each of your pieces have a different control amount. So your flagship right here actually gives you 2 control to a region. Your patrols, which are just these little fins, you got 10 of these. These are going to give you 1 control in a region. And then you've also got these strongholds. These are going to give you 2 control in a region, and these will sit only on islands. They can't be anywhere else but an island. We'll talk about how to get those on the board in a second here. So in this case, I got 3 control versus yellow doesn't have any presence in here. They have no controlling pieces, so you would just automatically win this. You'd gain 2 fame at the end of the round here. If you had your flagship right here, it's 2 to 3 because they've got their flagship and 2 of those. So you're going to be battling for control over all of these regions throughout the game, and the wealth dies of the regions are going to be increasing by other factions in the game. So you've got your standard sail. This works the same, except that at the end of your movement, you're going to be placing a patrol. Well, you may place a patrol, you don't have to. So if I put a dice here, oh, by the way, you start with an extra dice, so you'll get an extra action. 1 or 2 spaces, so let's just say, I move off the map, have to stop my movement, but I'm gonna do an explore action. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that right here. Well, my movement stopped, therefore I can place a patrol. So you put a little shark fin there, and now I have kind of control in this area right here, which is nice. So that's the sail. Tailwind works the exact same. So when you do a tailwind, you might do a 5 here. So I'm going to shoot over to the 5 spot. When I land there, I can place a patrol. So both of those are your ways of getting patrols out on the board. You can use an order action in order to move 4 different patrols, each 1 space. So you can kind of move these around the board, and you can actually use these to explore the map, which is really cool. The other thing is, if you have loaded cannons, your patrols, when they're doing those moves, can actually start combats with other players, which is really fun. And that also makes the whole board become a landmine because all your fins will have loaded cannons. So any players that move into your fins, now they have to stop for battle. Okay, your big way of getting rid of comrades, which is kind of one of the main things, is like if one of the yellow factions, like the Shellfire Rebellion here, has 3 comrade tokens, you really, really want a die roll of 4. So keep on to your gold, because you can increase or decrease the number of pips on your die with gold. But if you get a 4, you can remove all comrades from the island in your flagship's region. So right now that would not work, but if I was right here, this is the region, I can remove all of these comrades with just that 1 action. Remove all of those because I'm in the region. So that's your main way of getting rid of comrades. And deploy is a way to just force a patrol onto the board. You place 1 patrol in your flagship space or adjacent to it. And adjacency is orthogonal adjacency. So one of these 3 spaces in this case. But let's say I was right here, and I did do the deploy action, so I placed right here. I'm gonna go ahead and place my 2nd patrol right here. Now, when there are 2 patrols at an island, at the end of a turn, if there are ever 2, you can actually remove both of these patrols in order to create a stronghold. And it's only if they're at the island. Now, what this is considered, it considers that you dominate the island. For one, it's great because you get 2 control here. These are also considered to always have loaded cannons. That means whenever an enemy moves into here, you're going to start a combat. And the nice thing about these strongholds is they actually get +2 to that combat roll. So they're really, really good, strong positions. The other thing, you can also still lower your cannons to increase that roll. So you get +2 plus whatever you lower your cannons to. The other thing is that you dominate the island. So that means that players cannot take any cards that match that suit from this island. So if the smuggler wanted to come here and collect a skull card, if it was in here, they could not. So you dominated the island. The other thing that domination does means that the Bluefin player can actually hire that color crew, even if their flagship isn't at that island. So if they were right here, they could be, you know, they anchor at, you know, this island, but because they have a dominated skull, they can actually hire a skull suit card. So that is kind of the strongholds deal. That's honestly the Bluefin Squadron. You're just going to be placing out these patrols. You're going to be strategically moving them around the map. You're going to be placing down these strongholds, trying to secure these regions and get that fame. And that is the Bluefin Squadron.